Welcome to Pagan Crafting. I'm Kara, your local art witch. Today, on the last of the autumn season, we're gonna make some decor. I have a little poem that we're gonna rock with a little scroll. We're going to recycle and reuse a thrift found candle, paint some little mushrooms. We forage for our wood pieces. Join me today as we add some crystals, some keys, and some flavors into the last of the autumn decor. So from one of my camping trips, I brought home this stick here, and I've broken it all up, and we're gonna make some crafts on it. It's got lichen and moss and some old man's beard on it. It is perfect. I don't have to decorate it as much as I probably would have to if I just had a normal little twig to choose from. So just grabbing some twine, doing kind of like a horse wrap, a 3 wrap on each side. And this one we're going to use it for our scroll. So the top part only, we're going to tie off something to hang. And we'll save those sticks for the other projects. So this is what we have here. Remember that you are water, fire, air, earth, and spirit, and everything that goes in between with it. I'm going to have these as a PDF download available on my Patreon and my Etsy store. You can print them off however you'd like. This I printed off just 2 on the page, made it smaller, and I did a coffee stain. So I let that hang out overnight, and then I dried it in my oven the next day. When I dried in my oven, I noticed the paper's a little bit more crinklier. It's not as flat, and I don't mind for this project. If I was working in my grimoire, I'd probably dry it on the floor. I usually put a sheet down and dry it on the floor and makes them nice and flat. Or you can iron them when you're done too. Just grabbing some edging to make it a little bit more aged looked on the sides. I like what the coffee did to the side of the paper, so I thought I'd replicate that. Using some hot glue, rocking down the sticks to the paper. And this I unfolded. This was a recycled thrift find. There still is the wick down on the left side. But this stuff is still easy to cut, and it's not dried out. It was in the bottom of a bin, and my mom found it at a really bulk find thrift find. I actually make a lot of Ukrainian Easter eggs, so when she found the wax, she knew the candle wasn't any good anymore, but she thought I would use the wax for making the Easter eggs, but they're actually called pisanka eggs. But they're now known in the Western world as more Easter eggs. But we're not going to go there. And these are so easy. I'm using just some cotton. I'm not using any wicks. I'm not going to be lighting them, so they don't need to be one of my wax dipped wicks. And you're just going to simply roll it up. I wound up making it a little bit too big the first time, but I just couldn't stop myself. They're so much fun and easy to make. So it decided it wanted being a little bit big, so I'm just going to unwind it, and I'll make 2 out of that piece, I guess. You can use a lighter, or you can just smooth it with your finger. The heat of your finger will also smooth down the wax. And a little rinse and repeat, just using the cotton again, and look at that. I have some cute little candles. They are so adorable. I think I'm gonna throw some on each end. I think I'm gonna make some longer ones too. We'll see what we're gonna need. My daughter made some too when we were playing around, so we might do some tradesies for some of her taller ones that she made. Now this hot glue is going to melt your wax immediately, so you need to work fast. I'm using a cheaper hot glue gun. That's because I got it at the dollar store, and it's very it's not very hot, so it doesn't melt the wax as much, but you still gotta work a little fast, and it really sticks down, so the wax will melt into the stick and the lichen and the moss on the twig as well. So I got these little wooden mushrooms at the local dollar store. I went today to go get some more, and apparently those are just in season for the fall time. I'm glad I grabbed like 6 bags, but I'm out now because I made my wreath now. I may have some lingering around the house. So if you can't find these on Amazon, I'm sure you can make some with some air dry or polymer clay. Or you don't have to use mushrooms at all. You could use whatever you'd like. I'm just feeling I'm always doing mushrooms. I don't know why. I'm a mushroom witch. We're gonna rock in some beautiful teal now. And then what I do is I paint the white on the top, because we're gonna blend in the lighter teal, the baby teal, in with that, just tapping it in. So what I've done is one side of the brush I have a darker teal, and then the other end I have the baby. Blending, 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 lots of blending, lots of just tapping it in. Just dab that like a trash brush, like a dry brush in, just tap it in. Using my little dot maker tool, or you could use the bottom side of your paintbrush. We're just going to make them a little whimsical and throw some dots on there, some little polka dots. Yeah, I think that looks cute. So I thought I'd paint one of the keys here too, an aquamarine, the dark aqua. And then I thought I'd make it kind of like to match the mushrooms. Why not? So I add some little white polka dots too. So now that that's dry, I can put the polka dots on. Just to give a little whimsy for the piece. Next up, we need some moss. Sadly, I didn't have any reindeer moss at my disposal. My local Michael's craft store was out. So I have some remnants of some torn up green moss there, and I have some Spanish moss, some lichen I could play with too. Please excuse my filthy, oh my gosh, glue gun. I could clean it every day, and it still looks so dirty, and I just have so much stuff attached to it. Throw me down in the comments below a little mushroom emoji if your glue gun looks like mine. Oh my gosh. I love these little mushrooms. We'll have to remember next season to grab handfuls of these bags. There's only like 8 of them in a bag. All right, let's lay down some of that moss now to hide the hot glue. And it just looks good too. Moss and mushrooms. Comment down emoji below with the mushroom if you the mushrooms and moss makes the world go round. I love this. Lichen, would you call it? Spanish moss? Maybe? No, it's not Spanish moss. It's like a lichen. It's super cool. I love the gray undertones with it. I think it's going to look really sharp with this. There's some opposite greenery to balance that out. It's all about the layers, I feel. And we're going to add a little bit of green moss there on the lower right side to also help hide some of that hot glue that seeped out from underneath the little candles. And I love the little nestled in the moss look the candles have. I think maybe even painting the key a burgundy color would have looked cool on that part too. So there we have project number 1 completed. Let's go to our next one. I'm just going to play around with some different configurations. Just angled the candle. They're very easy to cut, so I just gave it a bit of a trim. And you got to glue this down fast as the wax is melting, and you have to hold it. Oh. Now I'm going to put a good chunk of this lichen on the corner here because I'd like to hide a little bit of one of the mushrooms in behind there, and I think the poking of the aqua color will look sharp coming out. Using some silk burgundy flowers. Just to bring out a little bit more color. It needed a little push of something else. Still needs a little bit more color, I'm feeling. I think we're going to add a little bit more mushrooms. Needs a little something something. Needs a little color balance there. A little punch more of the color, I think. Alright, we're going to add some moss here and some more lichen. And that'll help hide the wooden look and hide the glue. Now I'd like to hang some things off. I don't know if I'm going to use brown or this gray. So both look very good. So just playing around. I accidentally grabbed the gray. I thought I grabbed 2 browns, but it was kind of, the light was kind of low and I wound up liking this gray. So going with that, I wound up going with the lichen and all the moss and whatnot that's already on the branches. These are some little garnets. The only reason I grabbed the garnets and I grabbed, look at that, aquamarine. And some of my wishing crystals. And I finally have the wishing crystals on my Etsy store. So I should be having those up soon. You can get a hold of yourself some wishing crystals. So I thought I'd grab the aquamarine and the garnet just simply to match the colors that I'm using. Bringing in the amazing energy of these stones into the house though is going to be, it's a good vibe it's going to give off, I feel. Using some Gorilla Glue. This is a gel glue. And it's amazingly, it sets so nice and quick. And we're going to lock all those in there because I'm not going to open this up. I'm going to be hanging them. So I don't know if the weight of the stones or the crystals are going to bring that down. So tied off all the strings now. I didn't show putting all the hooks into the corks. I'm sure that's tedious. So now I have them all tied up. Having them dangled, painted some of the keys, the burgundy colors to match. One last craft. I got this as a thrift find in a package, so let's use this up today too. I wound up finding a bunch of little birds' nests that I'm going to use for the craft and around Ostara next year. Yes, I collect crafts all year round for the future as well as the present. Oh my goodness. But in this, then the little baggie and the little grab baggie was this little wreath. So I thought it'd be perfect for today. Grabbing in some more little burgundy flowers just to match up the other ones to balance it out. I like the moon shape. I always do like a little half shape on wreaths. Makes me happy. I wound up melting my candle a little bit there, so I had to readjust it a couple times. Ooh. Melted pretty quick. One last mushroom. Now I have one more mushroom that I did put a hook in, one of these little eye loops, so I think I'm gonna hang that from the center too. Now I'm trying to do a slip knot, I must say. It's eluding me at the moment, so just give me a moment. There we go, slip knot. I kept doing a figure 8 knot, I don't know why. There, that slides on nice, so that can be adjusted later if I feel like it. And since I had one last mushroom, I might as well hang it. Else he'd be all by himself and no one to hang out with, so we might as well give him a home. There, and I think I'm going to add this key on this side. Would have been cool if I would have had some gold keys. That would have been rad. I guess I could have painted this gold too, but I like the burgundy. there we be. I like it. So our third and final craft. Easy peasy. Well, this is the reveal. We have our cute little wreath, our little mushroom candle, flower, lichen key wreath. And we have this scroll that you'll be able to download the PDF as well from Patreon and Etsy. A nice little hanging piece you can put on your wall or the tree. Any of these items can go on your tree or the wall, or you can have them for all year round. Well, thanks so very much for joining me today, and have yourself an absolutely magical day.